Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, I'm going to give you 10 things that you must do when investing in Africa. These are 10 things that you must do. I was actually going to call this video 10 things that you should do, but I changed it. It's 10 things that you must do. But first, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, and click the bell notification. Most of these things should be self-explanatory, but unfortunately a lot of people have been making a lot of mistakes. So we're going to go through our 10 must-do things, and we are going to start with number 1. Do not sign anything. Yes, we have people who have put themselves into a position where they are legally obliged to follow through with the contract. Read the contract first, and you must read it through. Ask as many questions as you can. If there is anything inside there, ask the questions that you need to know. If you don't feel at all comfortable with the situation, walk away. If you should be asking these people to take the contract away with you. This is for anything, not just on the continent, but at anywhere. You should be asking these people to take the contract away with you so you can read through it properly. Take your time, read the fine print. It is extremely important. If they say to you that you are unable to take the contract away, walk away from the deal. If they tell you that you are unable to have a lawyer go through the contract, walk away from the deal. It is really that simple. Number 2, get their real names. This is really important when it comes to us diasporans, because if you've been watching our videos recently, you would have noticed that all these people are not using their real names. I would doubt if any of these people have had their names properly changed. Pretty sure that most of these people have not had their names formally changed in any government system. So when you go to research these people, it is very difficult for you to research them if they are using a different name, right? If they are using their African name. Fake kings, fake princes, fake chiefs, they're all out there at this present moment, and they are all using these alter egos to help rid themselves of their nefarious pasts. If these guys sign their name and they sign it in their fake name, the contract is void for them, right? But they could push ahead if you try to turn out of that same contract because you signed it in your real name. Number 3, don't buy land unless you have seen the land with your own 2 eyes. This is so important, guys, especially on the continent. Make sure you go and visit the land first before you hand over a penny of that money, not even a deposit, right? Make sure you go and see that land first. Make sure you see if there is any fresh water sources nearby. Make sure you see the land when it has rained very heavily. A lot of people will try and sell you land which is swampland normally during the summertime when you go to view it, but during the rest of the year or during rainy season it is under a foot of water and it's no good to anybody. Number 4, ask them for credentials. This should go without saying, really, but the problem is a lot of these smooth talkers will bring you into a situation where you feel like you can trust them 100%. It doesn't matter if you feel 100%. You need to disconnect that feeling of the relationship that they have developed with you, because this relationship is not real anyway. It's just their way of bringing you into a situation where you feel comfortable enough to part with your money with them. So when I'm talking about credentials, I'm talking about people who are credible people who have something to lose. Doctors, people in high positions within the government, big companies, the those types of people, you should be asking credentials just from those people, because those people have something to lose, and it's important that you get credentials from not just anybody, like one of their colleagues, because you know as well as I do, I know you've used one of your colleagues in the past to be a reference for you. Total garbage. Number 5, check their social media. This is really important, and more people should be doing this more than often. When I was researching the Exodus Alliance a couple of weeks ago to make the video, I went on to RJ Mahdi's Instagram account, and when I went through it, I was like, well, I was surprised. This guy is rather young, isn't he? And I was like, well, okay, maybe it's just black excellence from the most powerful African ethnicity on the planet, you know. Let's just take a look and see what he can do, right? So I went through his Instagram, and when I started seeing selfie after selfie after selfie after selfie after photographs of him standing next to Jeeps, just really corny photographs, one that wasn't befitting of a leader of a major organization. This is what made me start to question him and made me to start to be interested in actually delving into who this person was, where he came from, and lo and behold, I mean, you haven't seen the video yet, guys, but keep watching this space. Number 6. Develop a long-term relationship with the seller. This one is even more important. Normally these guys who are looking to make their money through shysting you, normally it's one of the first things they do, actually. If you look online, if you watch certain YouTubers now, there is more than one YouTuber that I watch quite regularly who the number one thing they do is ask you to buy something as soon as you get on their YouTube. It's the first thing they ask you to do. So you know that these types of people have money on their mind pretty much 24/7. It's their number one thing, not your well-being, not your spiritual awakening or connection to the African continent, nothing like that. It's all about the greenbacks. Number 7, watch their conduct. Their conduct can speak volumes about who these people are and what their actual intentions are. When you develop a relationship with them, you can sit down and you can see the way they act. You can see whether they're actually trying to take you down a sales corridor. Who knows what a sales corridor is? It's when a salesperson will lead you through a list of questions which puts you into a situation where you can't say no to the deal. Shakina Shinedu actually does this when she goes to meet her clients. I've heard, because I've had a ton of emails come in from people who have met her. Another thing that she does is she speaks a lot about herself. I saw this from her. I've seen this from this RJ Mahdi. They have egos the size of trucks, okay, and that's something that they struggle. They will really find it difficult to hide it. So that is one thing that you can use to see whether this person is actually caring about you and about your best interest or about themselves. Number 8, ask whether these people's companies are registered with an overseeing body. Okay, this is of course the status quo in a place like Western Europe or in Northern America, but in Africa it may not be the status quo. It is only the elite companies that have this type of thing. So if you really want some security and you really want to invest money in Africa without having to go over there, but you want your money to be safe, this is probably the best way. At first glance, the Exodus Alliance looks like a strong conglomerate of these powerful organizations, but when I started to scratch at the surface, I could see that they were just, it was just tin, right? It was just gold-plated tin. So I knew, I could see that these but for some reason they are getting people to invest in them. People are not bothering to look a little bit deeper beneath the surface, simply because these people have won their trust over. Do not let that happen. Do not allow them to manipulate you just by talking. Be pragmatic, be practical, and look into the actual company, and look into if there is somebody taking care of them, somebody who is watching over them, okay? Someone that you can speak to and ask whether they've been in trouble in the past. This is important. Number 9, make sure you have other options. Don't just put all your eggs into one basket. Have options there. Make sure you tell these people, if you're going to meet them, that you do have options, that you have spoken to other companies. Make sure they're not affiliated with them. Contact multiple companies. Develop relationships with multiple people all the time, and make sure that all these people know that you are developing these relationships with everybody else. Okay? This will put you in a position where you'll be better informed about different companies and about their options. You'll also be better informed about the price of the land, of the houses, and everything else before you go in and make the purchase with just one company. Finally, number 10, don't be afraid to walk away. Most of these people, especially if they're scammers, they are so good at sweet talking you into a situation where you're going to sign that contract or sign that check or hand over the cash. Do not fall for it. Make sure you put yourself in a position where you look at things absolutely, practically and logically, okay? Look at them like you're a robot, okay? And remove the feelings out of it, because a good salesperson, especially towards us diasporans, this is a situation where we have generations, right? Generations upon generations of hurt, anger, pain and everything else all cooped up inside of us. And most of us haven't cured ourselves from this yet. We're hoping that Africa will do this. Unfortunately, we have people who look like us who are trying to use this emotion to make sure that they can have another payday. That's all they see you as, another payday. So make sure you look at these people like they are just a robot, like they're a car or something, okay? Take the emotion away from it and you will make a better decision. If it's too good to be true, it normally is. You know that as well as I do. So please, please, please do not be afraid to walk away. Okay guys, so those are my 10 must-do things. I am never going to give my money to any of these organizations. This is a situation, a unique situation for me, okay? If I'm going over to live in Africa, I'm not going to take away all this this process which I would love to go through and experience for myself. I'm not going to go give that to some kid from New Jersey, right? I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to put myself, immerse myself into that environment, okay? And I'm going to enjoy the experience. I'm going to forge ahead and make and develop these relationships with local people, become a part of Africa and get myself the absolute best deal simply because I'm not straight away talking about money. One African American guy who went up to Tamale in northern Ghana and he got himself an excellent deal on a large multi-hectare piece of land where he's now growing cassava. And the reason why he was able to do this was because he didn't pull up in a huge Land Cruiser, you know, flashing his cash. These chiefs have money, right? So they didn't really care about the money. They cared about the principles of how he's going to take care of the land, whether he was going to pump it full with pesticides. That's what they were caring about. So don't just make the assumption that they think the same way you think. These people on the African continent think completely different. And when you go through that process of developing relationships on the mainland, travel the mainland, you know, meet new people, you will see this for yourself. It's a beautiful thing to experience. So get out there. Don't just sit at home, get out there. You would be better off spending your money flying over to Africa and traveling the whole of West Africa, developing relationships that way, than just sending your money over to Exodus Alliance. Don't do that, okay? So that's it from me for today. Do any of you guys have any other tips or tricks for spending money on the continent or for investing large sums of money on the continent? Please put it in the comments section below. It'd be really good to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for the new subscribers. Really happy. Thank you. Much respect for the support. And I will see you in the next one. I'll see you shortly. Thank you very much. And remember, think twice, Tarara bit.